Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is based on my new package upgrade. My one-to-one package has had a little revamp, a little upgrade, and it's gone from the hormone reset package to Reprogram, the Restoring Energy program, which I am so excited to announce because this is really a reflection of how my work has evolved and changed over the years. So I thought to celebrate the launch of that this month, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite tools to help reprogram the subconscious mind because not only are we doing the physical healing work in this package, the gut healing, the mineral balancing, it's really about restoring cellular energy so that you can ovulate and detox and heal and repair and have a regulated nervous system, do all the things. So, of course, we're still going to be talking about supplements and lab testing and nutrition, blood sugar balance. But then there's also this huge component, which I have been practicing and implementing with clients already, but I haven't really marketed it or announced it in terms of my one-to-one package. I've just been sneaking it in for the past couple of years, and clients are having really amazing success and results with it. And now I feel ready to fully incorporate it into the package and allow that to be known. So the other arm of this package, this reprogram restoring energy package, is working on the energetic body as well, the subconscious mind, reprogramming the mind, the nervous system, our subconscious beliefs. This for me in my own healing journey was part of the shift that really allowed me to let go of this version of myself who had chronic illness and who was the really sensitive one, the one who always had to live differently and eat differently than everyone else, and I couldn't live a normal life, I felt, and I had to literally become a different person. I took all of the positive aspects away and brought that with me, but all of the heaviness, all of the self-doubt, all of the negative side of things that were keeping me stuck in that pattern of chronic health issues, chronic illness, I left that behind, and now I don't even resonate with that version of me. It was such a huge part of my life. There were a good 5 years in my early 20s that I was really, really sick, but the whole journey lasted longer than that, but the rock bottom moments was probably 20 to 25, and now it feels like that was a lifetime ago. So I have really been implementing this not only with clients but in my own life too, and the good thing is that you can use some of these subconscious reprogramming tools for other things in life. So I first started off with the health stuff and wanting to not associate with my conditions anymore, to show up differently, to prioritize different thoughts that I was having, to change my behaviors and my actions and my beliefs, change up my morning routine. But now I also use it for my business. I also use it for my relationship with money, for dating and showing up in that world again. There are a lot of unhelpful, unsupportive subconscious patterns that we let run in the background and they run on autopilot. And sometimes we don't even recognize them because we just think that it's the norm. We just think this is who we are. We can't change it. We don't even recognize that it's a problem until someone either points it out or you start to look into this world and you question everything and you realize that there's no inherent belief out there that is true 100%. It all depends on what you believe is true for yourself, and everyone has a different lens, a different perception of how they view the world. So a lot of these subconscious beliefs and programs actually develop under the age of 7, from 0 to 7. Our brain is in a hypnotic state, the theta wave brain state, and we're just learning how to be a human in the world, how to be accepted, how to be loved, what to believe. When we're told something, we take it on as fact. We don't have this critical factor in the brain that allows us to think logically, and our conscious mind hasn't really come online yet. We're running purely in the subconscious state. And we pick these up from the media, our family, our school systems. So a lot of people have similar beliefs that money is the root of all evil, or the doctors are the ones who save us and heal us when our health goes downhill. We believe that we can't get too successful because then people will not want to be our friend. There's little things like this which might not be something that you consciously think of day to day, but when it comes to the next level in your career or you're trying to get to the next level with your health, you might start to recognize that they're holding you back. We can also develop subconscious beliefs when we go through times and experiences of big intensity. So we go through a big trauma, a big loss, or even a really positive experience. If there's a lot of emotion in that moment, or yeah, we have this revelation and we go on this healing retreat or go through a healing experience, and that is enough even in your teens, your 20s. So under the age of 7 is where a big chunk of these beliefs are formed, but they can develop later on. Let's say you go through a breakup because your partner cheats on you, and then you believe that all men are cheaters, and you just take that on as a belief. And then you might get into dating again, and consciously you want to believe, and you say like you're open to dating and you want to find someone, but under the surface, the program that's running is still that belief that all men are cheaters. With health stuff, you could consciously want to heal, but if under the surface, the subconscious, which runs 95% of the show, only 5% is the conscious, but you believe that your condition is incurable, you believe that it's something that you're going to have to live with for the rest of your life and it's just going to get worse because that is what your doctor told you in that really stressful doctor's appointment where there was a lot of emotion, and that doctor you saw as an authority figure, they were telling you all of these things when you're in a very vulnerable state, you're going to take that on as truth. The good thing is that we can rewire our brain, we can reprogram our subconscious mind. And today's episode, I'm specifically going to be talking about doing this for physical healing and health stuff, because I'm guessing that's why a lot of you are here. Even if your health is okay, to get to the next level, to feel absolutely amazing and thriving, we can still use some of these tools. So wherever you're at, I'm sure you're gonna love it. So your personal reality right now, what you're experiencing, the amount of money that you're earning, how you're feeling with your health, is determined by your personality. And that is how you think, you act, you feel, you show up day to day, your behaviors. And 95% of that is subconsciously driven. So we really want to look under the surface here. Imagine an iceberg. The part that we see on top of the water is the conscious, that's only 5%. But if you've ever seen a graphic of an iceberg, you know that it is a huge mass under the surface and it's often hidden, as is the subconscious. It's not something that's very obvious sometimes, but when you start digging, you realize how important it is. So we are running on autopilot the majority of the time. A lot of our thoughts, the majority of our thoughts, about 90% of them are on repeat, just every day. We're in autopilot because the brain is trying to conserve energy, especially if we're already lacking in energy. We have fatigue, we have low cellular energy, we have mitochondrial issues. Our brain is even more so going to go to the default. It can feel really hard to create a new life and create new habits because it's already lacking. It's like an iPhone overnight. If it's not charged well, you wake up in the morning, it's on 40%. There's not much room for you to do something different, something fun on there. It's just going to drain the energy too fast. So this is why when we have low cellular energy, it can mean that our brain function and the way that we see life, the way that we show up, how we respond or react to a situation can be more, I don't want to say negative, but less desirable. We have to be even more cautious in those phases, and be more aware of our thoughts and not just immediately accept them as truth, and try to just take that moment where we just observe the thought, or before we react immediately to something, we take a moment and respond in a way that our healthier, healed, higher self would do. So I really want to stress the importance of this subconscious work. We want to get to the point where we identify as someone who has good health, who is someone who is an active person, who goes to the gym, who can maintain a healthy weight with ease, whose default is to choose the healthy meal options. If you're trying to stop smoking and you're a smoker, which is more powerful? Responding if someone asks you, do you want a cigarette with, no, I'm a non-smoker, I don't smoke. That's how I would respond because I'm not a smoker. I wouldn't even think twice about it versus someone else who's trying to quit and they'll say, oh, I shouldn't. I've not smoked for 3 weeks now. Um, and you can see how much different that energy is. The first one, I do not identify as a smoker versus the other one, you can kind of see that there's some resistance there and it's a more difficult decision for them. Or a gym goer. How is it that one person, even on vacation, they will take their workout clothes and they will still go for a run. They'll find a hotel with a gym. And there's another person who has to literally drag and force themselves to go to the gym. At the start of the year, they're on a roll for 3 weeks and then they completely fall off and then they never set foot in a gym again. It comes down to the belief system, and our beliefs are rooted in the subconscious. That's a little overview, and I'm going to share, I think there's 5 tools that I really recommend that I use with my clients as well that help them on that root level change their personality and therefore their personal reality, what they experience in the 3D, in their day-to-day life with their health and daily habits. So the first one of my favorites, is the emotional freedom technique, EFT, also known as tapping. I have just upgraded it was the hormone reset library. Now it's the mind body reset library on Kajabi. This is the accompanying course that my one-to-one clients get access to as part of the one-to-one program. So not only are you getting the one-to-one coaching, you also get lifetime access to this amazing gold mine of amazing content in there. And there's already some EFT tapping videos, and this will be an ever-growing library because it's one of my favorite tools. If you aren't familiar, EFT tapping works on the body energy systems, similar to acupuncture, acupressure. We have these meridian energy channels in the body, and for a number of different reasons, suppressed emotions, physical health ailments, they can become blocked. And then when we tap on certain acupressure parts of the body, like the top of the head, the inner eyebrow, the temple, cheekbone, then this is helping to move some of that stagnant energy, some of these blockages, and at the same time, we get a lot of physiological benefits too. It can really help to calm the amygdala centers of the brain, the fight and flight mode, the sympathetic dominance. It can release endorphins. It can release happy, feel-good neurotransmitters. It can help to reprogram the brain and limiting beliefs. So it's an amazing mind-body tool. It's helping on a somatic level release some of that stagnant energy, which can breed dis-ease, but also at the same time as we're talking through our fears, our worries, and then also implementing some of the beliefs that we do want to have. It can start to shift our brain circuitry and our belief systems. So EFT tapping is number one on this list. I do have a podcast episode that is from maybe a year ago. I'm going to put it in the show notes. And it's EFT tapping for if you're feeling frustrated about your health. And I give an overview of what EFT is in more depth. So if you want to watch that one, that would be better if you can watch it on YouTube. That'll be linked in the episode. Or if you're already a one-to-one client or you want to sign up as a one-to-one client, you'll find some tapping videos inside the Kajabi portal. And there's one on confidence, there's one on anxiety, there's one on good night's sleep, for those of you with sleep issues. There's one on pain, and then there's one just generally good vibes to start the day with. And I already have a list of more that I want to create, and they're all probably 10 minutes or less. So it can be a really fast acting tool. I use it every single day. I tap every day to, you can either use it to clear unwanted beliefs and any anxiety, stress that you're feeling, or install new programs and new beliefs, or a little bit of both. So it is my number one favorite tool, and I can't wait for you to experience it if you haven't already. Number two is hypnosis. Hypnosis has probably even more studies from over the years because it is even used in terms of phobias, fears, stopping smoking. A lot of people are familiar with hypnosis. Some people think it is just this comedy thing that they have at magic shows where they have people clucking like a chicken on stage. That is just for TV and that is for entertainment purposes. But hypnosis is a really powerful tool. I was actually referred for hypnosis for IBS. It must have been 10 years ago now, which I was already shocked about. And that was my first experience of hypnosis. And I really found I only did a couple of sessions because by the time I got round to having my appointment through the NHS, I'd already healed myself and I didn't have IBS anymore. It was a year's wait list. So I signed up and I agreed to do it. It was at a hospital in Manchester, and I went for I think 2 appointments, and the appointments were about an hour, and he put me into a hypnosis, and I could have sworn I had my eyes closed for 5 minutes, and it had been the full hour, and I was just in this completely relaxed state, and at the same time they tell your subconscious mind or suggest to the subconscious mind that your digestion works effortlessly, and if there's any constipation or loose stools or imbalances in there, it's just helping the body to heal naturally. So what hypnosis does is quietens the conscious mind. So it takes your brainwave state from the alert, everyday brainwave, which is typically beta, and it slows it down. So then you drop into alpha, which is a more relaxed, calm state, and then into theta, which is where this critical factor of the brain in the conscious mind starts to shut off, and the door to the subconscious starts to open. So theta is what we were in as a child between the ages of 0 to 7, but we can enter it again. And we do it every day as we're heading into sleep. We drop into theta just before we wake up or fall asleep. But we can get there as well when we're deeply relaxed. When you're sleeping, you're in delta, so you drop even slower into the brainwave states. So theta is that nice in between. So it's a conscious but sleepy state, a very relaxed state where the body is asleep but the mind is still awake. And there we can directly change and influence the belief systems. At the same time as hypnosis, as you're in a hypnotic state, you can also pair that with visualization, which is number 3, my next favorite thing. You can still visualize, not in a hypnotic state. It's going to be less powerful, but we don't always have the time to get deep into hypnosis. It can take sometimes up to 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. Whereas with visualization, you can just pop on a really powerful song and get into a visualization within a few minutes. So it's a bit more accessible to do it that way. But if you do have the option of going into deep relaxation first, starting with a meditation or hypnosis, then you can use visualization. So visualization I often do at the end of a meditation. So the meditation might be 10, 15, 20 minutes. And my brain is relaxed, but I'm probably more in alpha waves. I might drop a little bit into theta. And then visualization, the key is not just seeing the image, because people can struggle with that. When I visualize, it's not this really clear visual where everything's in HD, high definition, and looks like it does with my eyes open. It's very blurry. Sometimes it's just the outlines of things. And actually the most important is the feeling that you pair with that. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that the thought and the vision puts out the signal. So what you're wanting to manifest, what you're requesting, what you're wanting to experience. And it's the feeling that draws it back into the body. So the emotion, the feeling is the secret. The feeling is the most important thing. So if you are one of those people who actually can't visualize, it's a medical condition, that is okay. Just feel how you want to feel when you are that healthy, thriving person with balanced hormones and clear skin, or you meet your dream partner, you finally get that promotion that you've been dreaming of. How would you feel? You'd probably feel over the moon, you feel so grateful, you feel so excited, you feel free, you feel abundant. How do those feel in your body? And practice feeling those on a daily basis. And that is telling the body and telling the subconscious that that is normal. What you normalize, you start to experience more of. If you've never experienced joy, I feel like most people have felt joy before, but if it's something that is completely outside of your norm, when you do get something, you're gonna subconsciously reject that because anything outside of your comfort zone, anything that's considered new and unfamiliar is also considered unsafe, which sounds crazy for something like joy. But if we can see a vision or a little mind movie every day of our future self, and it can just be you going about your day. It doesn't have to be this, there's not a moment where you finally heal overnight and all your dreams come true in one day. It's the day to day, it's the mundane, what we want to be focusing on. So it could be you doing your morning routine, and let's say you have acne and fatigue, you visualize yourself easily getting out of bed, you feel energized, you put on your workout clothes, you head over to the mirror in your bathroom, you look at your skin in the mirror, and you're so happy because it's clear, and all you need to do is put a little bit of moisturizer on, and then you're heading out the door to a workout. That is so much better, and that is what you want to be looping in your brain every single day until it becomes your reality, which over time will, when you combine it with that emotion, when you're constantly feeling into those feelings, your frequency is then going to match that frequency of the person who has the clear skin. Because yeah, the only reason that you don't have that right now, there is a physical component, obviously, but you need to make sure that your energy is in alignment with that too. So that is exactly what we do inside of Reprogram. I just want to check, are you addressing the healing foundations? Not sure what I mean. Well, these are the important factors that I believe that you need to address in order to be in optimal health and overcome your stubborn health issues and symptoms, whether that's chronic digestive issues, acne, hair loss, period problems, weight gain, anxiety, fatigue. I could go on. Because I want as many of you as possible to have this life-changing information, I've bundled together 6 of my juiciest and info-packed masterclasses priced at just £111. Not only are you getting these recordings, which are between 60 and 90 minutes long each, on the following subjects: the power of the subconscious mind, stress, trauma, and the nervous system, supporting your female menstrual cycle, mastering your metabolism, optimizing sleep, gut health and detox. You're also going to receive my healthy groceries shopping list and my favorite non-toxic products guide, which are both usually reserved for my one-to-one clients. Whether you're brand new to the holistic healing world or you've been trying to work on things for a while but feel stuck, I can guarantee there's something within this content that will help you to understand your next steps and what you're missing. Sometimes it's something so foundational that's being overlooked. Get instant access to the Foundations bundle today for just £111 by clicking the link in the episode show notes, and I can't wait to hear about what you've learned. Grab your pen and paper to make notes and get started today. Number 4 is a process called scripting, which is kind of journaling, but there's a few different options for this. My favorite way to do it is writing a journal entry as your future self would. So just an average day again, 6 months in the future, a year, 10 years in the future of how your day went. Or you could pretend that you're writing to someone, a friend, a loved one, family member. So you're like, hey, so-and-so, or the date is the 6th of June, 2030. And today I did this, I felt so good. I went to see my friend, we went for lunch, we did a little workout class. I can't believe how strong I felt. I I felt on top of the world. My digestion has been so good recently. My skin is clear, and I'm so grateful for this. And you can see how you're writing what you're manifesting, but in present tense. And the more details that you can include, the more emotion that you can feel whilst you're writing it, the better that is going to be. Scripting is a really powerful tool. I have used it. I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. I didn't know this was like a common thing in the manifestation world, but apparently it is. Because now I look back at old journals and I'm actually confused as to whether it was me before the day writing in this scripted future tense or if it actually happened, because it could pass as this was my actual day. It's that realistic and it's that accurate. So that is really cool. Maybe put a little star next to it if it's something that you're scripting versus an actual journal entry, because I use both. And then number 5, last but not least, my final favorite tool to help reprogram the subconscious mind for healing are pattern interrupts. This is brain rewiring 101. If you've heard of some of these limbic system training programs, there's DNRS, there's Primal Trust, there's a few different ones out there, the Gupta program. I was first introduced to them in my mold healing journey and healing from Lyme disease and chronic infections, because my body was just stuck in cell danger response, in flight and fight mode. Even after moving, I was still in this fearful loop where I was just, yeah, not believing I could heal. My body was stuck in a chronic inflammation and nervous system dysregulation. So pattern interrupts are part of programs like that. So it is tied to things like meditation and nervous system regulation, but I'll just give you an overview of what I tend to do. So if a thought comes up on your healing journey, just day to day, like you're never going to heal, or your symptoms are getting worse, or your skin is just an absolute mess and you shouldn't go outside like that. You need to cover up. What you need to do is firstly just acknowledge the thought, but don't become attached to it. Remember, on my meditation episode that I did for the Joe Dispenza series, I'll link to that as well because that is a really helpful one. This meditation process teaches you how to, so that could be an extra bonus one, is meditation of one of these tools. But we want to see our thoughts as not us. There's something separate to us. So we are the thinker of our thoughts. So when you have a thought like that, you're never going to heal. You're too complex, you're too far gone, you're too sensitive. I want you to acknowledge it, and you could even label it as hello fear or hello Jennifer, this part of you that's really scared. If you've seen Inside Out, you'll know the little characters in there. Just know that that part of you is your ego. It can be a self-sabotager, it could be your inner child, but it's not you. You're observing that, so you're obviously above that thought. And you can take it a few different ways. You can fight back. So you could say something like cancel clear or stop, 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 or provide evidence that the opposite is true. So like, hold on a minute. If I'm saying that I'm too sensitive, why is it that so and so's been able to heal? Or I know that the body can heal, so I can list XYZ person, Vivian's been able to heal, so why not me? Or you could distract yourself, because that feeling and that thought will typically pass within a minute or so. So you can just not engage with it and then look around the room and try and count how many things are green or blue. Or you can focus on your feet on the ground, your senses. What do you smell? What do you feel? The texture of your clothes on your skin. Can you do a nice big slow deep breath and just calm your nervous system and feel into feelings of love and gratitude, and bring to mind a memory that makes you really happy or a person that makes you feel really happy. So we don't want to overly associate with that initial thought because it just wants attention, it just wants energy, and it is coming from a fearful place. So we don't want to just ignore it and suppress it down. We acknowledge it, but like you would on, I gave this analogy at my workshop when we was talking about the power of presence and the power of the mind. With Instagram or TikTok, the For You page, that is created based on what you engage most with, what you like, what you comment on, what you watch the full entirety of the video of. And maybe your feed is full of fashion and health stuff and food videos, and then this random video comes in that is a video of a car. And you're like, I don't really, this isn't supporting me, I don't really want this. So what you wouldn't do is start commenting on that, watching the whole video, liking the video, sharing it with friends. You would just swipe on past. And then you focus on the ones that you do want. And then over time, the algorithm will start to pick up. And you're occasionally going to get a video that you don't want. You can even suggest, you can even put as an option, I don't want to see more videos like this. So you can say that to your brain as well. Not helpful. Thank you. Thank you, next. Swipe on past. You can do like a visual swipe like you would on your screen. You can do no, no, no. You could cancel clear and just something to distract yourself. You can even have an elastic band on your wrist that you snap and give yourself a little bit of a shock when you have an unsupportive thought. And we're not beating ourselves up, and this part of the brain is going to be there. When your physical body is off, it can be a little bit more heightened because the neurotransmitters and everything are just in a more dysregulated state. So your anxiety levels, your pessimism and your negativity will naturally start to lower when your physical body is healthier. I found that very commonly. But then it's not like we never have a negative thought again, or we never have our ego or self-sabotage start to come up. I still do to this day. It's way less quiet and prevalent than it was before, but the goal isn't to just have this really peaceful, happy mind 24/7. That's going to be pretty much impossible. So these pattern interrupts can just help to change the neural pathways that have been firing and wiring together for years, if not decades, in the same way. And that has become the superhighway of your brain. That has become the road that has just been driven over time and time and time again. And that is the default for now. But we can create new networks, we can create new roads, but it can take a while for them to become fully the default. So imagine a forest, some woods, and the path that everyone's been walking down has slowly been created over time, and that's where everyone is walking. But then we can go a different way. We can choose a new pathway, a new network, but it'll take some time. It'll take you chopping down some trees, and then over time, the more that you walk that way, that will become a path as well. So yeah, pattern interrupts are really, really key, especially if you've got to this point of your health journey where you're doing all the right things, but you do feel like there's a lot of negative thoughts coming up, a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, sensitivity to foods, products, supplements, or you have had a history of things like mold, and yeah, you're just prone to some of those things. The pattern interrupts can be even more supportive, but even with a flare up of some digestive issues or skin issues, rather than letting that completely ruin your day because you've woke up and you've got a new batch of spots on your face, can you find something to be grateful for? Can you celebrate the progress that you have recently had before you had a little bit of a flare up? If you've got a stomach ache, can you just accept that in the moment? Because the more that you resist it and the more that you get angry and frustrated, you're probably going to prolong it double the time. So try and just think why this could have happened, but there's always not a very clear reason. It can just be one of these things. And if you have thoughts like, oh my God, I'm getting worse, or this infection is back, or I must be deficient in this or that, just calming the brain, do some deep breaths, focus on gratitude, focus on what brings you joy, switch your brain pattern and choose your thoughts more carefully. So, what would I rather believe right now? Can I get to the point where I believe that even if I have a little flare up for a few days, I can still be healing, and I can still celebrate all of the amazing success that I've had with my energy levels, and my digestion's been really good, and my energy, my sleep's been really good, or I've been able to introduce a new food recently, and I'm really happy about that. And that is really going to help speed everything along. So I believe this combination of the physical body, the physical healing work, restoring the cellular energy, plus reprogramming the subconscious mind, restoring the energy body is the secret source to healing and also long-lasting healing. And then you can use what you learn for other areas of your life, like I said. So if you're interested in doing that and working together one-to-one, Reprogram, my signature one-to-one coaching program, is for you. It is 6 months of support on both levels. Not only do you get one-to-one coaching, personalized protocols, there's a lab test included in there as well, but also this hormone, this mind body reset library as well that has so many things in there. Over 30 hours, probably more at this stage, of content. The EFT library, meditation and hypnosis library. There's masterclasses on the nervous system, blood sugar, toxins. We even have a few Pilates classes. We have some breathwork trainings, one with Jasmine St. Clair, who is my favorite breathwork teacher. She was at my recent in-person workshop. She has a recording in there so you can do breathwork anytime. Really good session. I watch it at least once a month. And then there's a breathwork training with my client, and she's a practitioner, Catherine Jackson. She's trained with Oxygen Advantage. That's all about how to breathe day to day, which sounds weird. We think we know how we breathe it, how to breathe well, but actually we don't. And that can help the body to heal faster and have a more calm, regulated nervous system. So her training is in there as well. There's just so much. I would love to have you inside if you're interested. If you want to send me a message, or you want to book in for a free 30-minute enrollment call, we can chat about your situation, make sure it's a good fit. Just tell me what's going on, what you want to work towards, and if so, if it would be a good fit and I can help you, then we can get you started. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you try some of these techniques and tools out and see how much they benefit your life, because they certainly did for mine.